lads have a school over here on the far side. I'm just getting dug in now. I'm not going to, no. My mother's going to be looking out the window now, and if I don't get out of here shortly, I'm going to get told off, Karen Handy. And bows always last, yeah, attitude. See them over there in the corner. They fell for it. Welcome back. We're on the brown stuff today. Yeah, the job we all love to get finished with. It's Monday morning, it still hasn't rained. Loads of dust behind me and in front of me, which is great, but it is giving rain. And rain, it looks every bit of it. And it's actually got cold. I'm in a t-shirt here this morning because you'd expect to be wearing a t-shirt going into June, but it's actually cold. I'm glad I have a jacket here somewhere that I'm going to throw on me now shortly because it's cold. It's giving more broken spell for the rest of the week, but look at silage on the cover now. I don't have to keep watching the weather as tight. We all watch the weather tight till we get the silage in, but hey, it's alright. The task today is over here with the mixer. I'm going to stick it into this tank over here on the other farm. I think it's a little more than half full, if I remember right from the last time. So I'm going to mix it first, and then I'm going to dribble bar onto these fields here just beside it, because you know what? That's going to save me a lot of time. I'm going to do it the lazy way. I'm going to use this first. I was going to leave it towards the end of the year, but you know what? I'm going to use it first to get the job done an awful lot faster. And then we'll draw a few load from the tanks at home as well. But we don't want to use too much slurry. We're going to put out about 1,000 gallons in an acre. It's going to be enough, maybe even a bit less. We're going to move over it quite quickly because we've got a lot of slurry in the springtime. And we're going to do a second cut on this as well. Maybe even a third cut on some of it, but a second cut definitely on it all. And I'll get slurry again, so we don't need to go mad on the slurry. Anyway, let's get this gate open. That's why I'm sitting here looking at it and get to work. A lot of people do mention to me what I think of this mixer, or they're not rather one that's upright. People seem to hate the fact that you have to take off the shaft and put it on. I get your point. I don't know. Is it any harder or not? It doesn't take that long. You can actually move it from tank to tank if you want without taking off the shaft. And the shaft, is it that hard to move? Well, it's not hard at all. Nothing wrong with that. Right, mama. In case you're wondering why I'm feeding them with a scoop, well, somebody left a bucket behind them last night. A quick look at these ladies, make sure they're alright, which they are. There's plenty of grass down there. What I'll do with that is, it got kind of strong, it got brave and strong down at the lower end, so I'll come in with the mower probably in about 2 days time when they've had another bit of it. Just mow it all out and leave them on it then for another 2 to 3 days, let them clean it, and then we'll move them on to a couple of paddocks that have got really strong, but they're too rough to bale. I'd be afraid of what you might bring into the baler. And they're also way too steep as well. Bring a baler in, you can also see neighbours over there baling theirs. So now we have the tank just hooked on, and the pipe with me here as well, because the pipe that's over the other farm is great for unloading slurry into the tank, but it's not that great for sucking it up. The connections are different. I wish they'd make all the connections the same. It's just so much handier, but the two connections just don't line up with that pipe that's over here and what's on the back of the tank. It's just gone 12 o'clock in the day. It takes that long to get all the routine jobs done with a bit of mixing as well before you can actually get the slurry in. Then I'll only be slurrying for probably about 4 or 5 hours and I'll be making time again, so I have a couple of fields to top this evening. I'm hoping to get this tank completely emptied over here and get a few tanks taken from the one at home as well. We're not putting out a pile of slurry because I want to save it. This year, I really want to save it. Other years, you'd be just glad to get the tanks emptied. But not this year, especially with this dribble bar. I want to make it pay for itself and grow us some grass. Right, well I'm just stopping for a quick bite to eat. I just got a message there on my phone. We're getting on well, by the way, but just got a message there on my phone. I get several like this all the time. And a fella just asked me, Adrian, I think your wife has you spoiled. I wouldn't know why I get messages like that. Because my wife doesn't have me spoiled, and she'd even opposed to herself. She even said to me last night, why does people say that? Because I haven't got you spoiled. You do everything for yourself. I don't know, but I'm tucking into the lunch med me here. And even there, for instance, she cut my sandwiches straight across. We all know triangular sandwiches taste much better, and I don't know why she keeps making that mistake, but she does. But anyway, well, that's it. Our slurrying is done, and I didn't record a whole pile of it, but you know why? It's just slurrying, and you've seen it all before. Just this time we done it with the dribble bar, but all our fields are slurried, and it looks a bit weird because when I'm looking from my house over, I'm used to seeing the fields just covered nice and brown, and this time it's different. And I have to, excuse me, I have quite a bad flu. You have to bear with me, I'm just a wee bit congested up with that. But it's just weird when you look over from a distance. You wouldn't think there's any slurry in the fields at all. It's just the way it looks. How am I getting on with the dribble bar? Well, there's certainly a learning curve with these things. When I first started using it, you've seen the video yourself, frustrated. I was frustrated with it. I wasn't liking it a whole pile, and to be totally honest with you, I found it fiddly and awkward to use. But now I've put that behind me. I'm flying with it now. I absolutely love it on flattish ground. It's still a bit of a problem when you get onto hills like what we have. The kind of our fields, some of them are kind of triangular shaped. They're awkward fields to work on like that. So the reason why this is a little bit awkward on hilly ground is power. If you're going up, you're going to be going up at some stage, up a hill, and you turn on the macerator, you're pulling power away from the tractor. You definitely know when you turn on the macerator. So getting your speed is very hard. That means you're putting on then a little bit too much then as well. But that's just a wee thing I have to kind of work around. It's grand. I still got it done, But see, when I get on the rest of the fields, that's only small areas. When I get on the rest of the fields, flying. It's putting it down into the ground. It's not making any mess. It's very, very handy. One thing I was told about is when you're finishing off your slurry, to run a kind of a watery load through it last, and that'll clean it out. And I took one of the loads of dairy washings, which is basically water, and spread that on the field, only about a quarter of a load, and finished off spreading that. And that cleared the whole thing out, so that should leave it right. Rain is just starting to fall. It's given a couple of showers today. It's not giving a whole pile of rain, but a couple of showers, which I'm glad to get done now, because it would leave the hills slippy and dangerous to work on. So I'm glad to just have it all done now. So let's go home and start the next job. Right, we are dirtying the street. My mother's going to be looking out the window now, and if I don't get out of here shortly, I'm going to get told off, Karen Handy. But anyway, we're heading over to the farm. I'm not going to show any topping, I'm just going to show you what the plan is for the day, because it's the start of moving cattle. It's Saturday now, Saturday the 4th of June, and it's ferocious warm. It's just real thundery weather. Like you could have a cloudburst at any time. Now the biggest obstacle I'm going to have over here by far is to get into the field where the heifers is without them getting out. Because in theory, what I want to do is I want to top the field that they're in and then leave them in it for about another day, because they'll just clean up everything that's laying on top of the ground, makes a real good job. It used to be lovely and clean. But with my heifers, when I ever go near a gap, they come running, and I might have a task trying to get in. I better do it very fast, trying to get in before they get out. I see them over there in the corner. Just might get in if I go quick. They're not doing any moving. That's great. Right, we're in now, and here they come. So hopefully they stay out of my way so we can get the thing topped. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show you, it's just topping. We'll pick this up when I have it done. Boom. They'll be a bit upset now because they'll want to get into a fresh new paddock, because I'm at the top on their lovely bed they were laying on for the last couple of weeks. But I want them to clean it up. See, look, stuff like this here. Nothing wrong with it, good grass, unspoiled. So they'll be unhappy for a little while, but we can live with that. They'll only be in here for another 2 days. Today is Saturday, it's bank holiday weekend. Probably Monday evening or Tuesday morning I'll let them into a new paddock. Now I spy with my little eye something else that doesn't look right. I notice here the calves, they're walking through the fence up along the hedge, and the fence is on the ground. Why is that not electric? Because everything else is banging away here. So there's something they figured out that's not right. Oh, I see. I moved that little fence over there the other day and I forgot I didn't put any power to the bottom row, and this is connected to the bottom row. Yeah, so we'll sort that out now. Alright, so it's now Monday, bank holiday Monday actually. And I have help here today. I have Nicole with me because she's off school today with being a bank holiday here in Ireland. And what we're going to do today is we're going to actually move our heifers now. They've that field all completely cleaned out. Made a great job, but just to clean up any of their grass was laying on top of the ground. That's done now. They're still quite content in there, but we have a lot of grass. A lot of grass and other paddocks over on the far side that haven't been ate at all yet. So we need to keep them moving. So we're going to let them cross here. We just put up a temporary fence so they don't run down this field, because you can see the top of this field grows an awful lot quicker than anywhere else. And there'll be no point in putting them in there because they won't eat around the field. They'll eat the nice sweet grass in the middle, and we don't really want them to do that because this is part of our second cut. So we're going to let them over on the big hill for a little while, let them have a run around that. There's plenty of little bits of grass in around they can eat on that. At home, my other two girls are setting up a fence in the yard like we do with our calves, because we're getting ready to put 2 more calves out, 2 more bigger calves out. We're only letting them out in 2s and 3s, just to the come of age, and they're big enough, but there's 2 more they can go out and join them there now. We're going to do that today as well, now that I have the help. So that's it. Let's get these girls moved. You probably call them there, Nicole. I'd say they'll follow you. They know Nicole's voice every bit as good as mine, and you can see they'll just run after her. And Bo's always last. Yeah, attitude. on. And there we have it. I got a lot of comments and funny comments back and forth to me. Good old crack, good old banter back and forth. But I always like to give a bit of information on why I do things. And one thing I was asked is why I leave gaps. So you see the dribble bar lines? There's one strip there, there's one strip there, and you might see a gap. Narrows from about 2 foot to about 3 foot here. People do ask me, Adrian, why do you leave that gap between your spread lines? And you know, I like to answer them as honestly as I can, especially for people there that's maybe from the non-farm background, because a lot of farmers would probably understand, especially if you've put out slurry before, why I'm leaving these gaps between the spread lines. So I did answer it on Instagram, but if you're not following us on Instagram or Facebook, there is quite an easy, straightforward answer to that, and most people will know it. And of course, it's so the rabbits keep their feet clean. That's what it's for. The rabbits can come back and forth from one side of the field to the other, and they won't dirty their feet. The rabbits have a school over here on the far side. Oh, I'm just getting dug in now. I'm not going to, no. Now myself and the girls are over here. We have 2 more calves in the back of this trailer. We're only putting 2 more out. I would have explained that in the video last time we were putting our first 4 calves out. But 2 more that are at the proper age and at the proper size to go out. And there's 4 yet at home that'll be going out in about a fortnight's time. Want them to eat plenty of meal before they get out. Because if you let them out when they're young like that and they're not eating meal, they get bullied away from the trot from others, and they'll just, I've seen that just with experience. So just give them a little bit extra time. Now at the minute I'm trying to figure out what way do we do this. Do we put the 2 of them from the trailer in here with these, and what can happen is these ones will start chasing them. They're not meaning to chase them, but they'll chase each other. Next thing they'll burst through wire and everything. And one of the girls suggested this, which was very clever, I must say. Put them over into chute, these ones here, and then put the other 2 in along with them, and let them get used to each other first, and then let them out together. That actually sounds like a good plan. So if we can get these ones out without any hassle, that's what we'll do. So let's get that done. Just so I can rattle a bucket. Yeah, I'll do. Sucks. Are you just going to walk out? Okay. I'll just chase you. Go on. Shh. Always one. They fell first. Come on. There we go. All they need in here is about 10 minutes, and then the freight will go off them, and then we'll hunt them back out, straight back into the paddock, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll not have too many issues, because I have a feeling it's just not going to go that smooth. I will add, my girl set up a fence at home. If you haven't watched our videos with letting calves out, you can go back and watch that. I didn't want to show it all the same thing kind of again, but they did set a fence up in our yard behind our silage pit, just with electric tape around, and they've got a good few touches of the electric fence. It just kind of trains them so that when they go out in the field, they're not going to wreck the fences and jump through everything. So we did do that at home. The girls set that up while we were moving the heifers here, and they got about an hour at home. So it does help. In the yard, they're really, really quiet. But that doesn't mean they get more space when they go out. They could be completely different, but we're about to find out. The electric fence back on here, because I was fiddling at it there a while ago. Now, here we go. See this galloping now, this is what they do. Easy does it. That's the 2 together there now. This is the crack here. Now they'll go for a gallop. There's a little bit of meal in the trot, which should calm the other ones down. But you see the 2, they're not interested in calming down at the minute. They're going to go for it. They're going to go through the fence, I just know it. And this is the older girl here. She should know better. The older calves are excited by the two younger ones, and then the excitement turns into playful running, and then turns into frightening running, and then turns into fences being on the ground and calves being in the wrong fields. That's exactly what happens. Pick this up in a few minutes and hopefully I'll be fit to tell you that they've calmed down. Alright? That's them out, sorted. They haven't put a foot wrong since one out, which is unusual. No jumping through the fences this time. It was a great idea of one of the girls to put them into the chute. That's it, that's the next generation putting the thought on things. Anyway, we're going to leave it there for now. Right, just before the day's video ends, I have Elena here with me. We're doing a bit of judging here. On Facebook and Instagram, I mentioned there during the week. So we have our pet heifer. We all know the pet heifer. And we all know, if you follow us on Instagram, the bit of a mischief rascal that she is. She's kind of become one of those animals that does everything that you don't want an animal to do. She's a master of opening gates and knocking over plastic drinkers. Is a new one there now. But whatever kind of villainy ever takes place with breeding the cattle and all, it's always Hall's at the back foot of it. So apart from all our mischief, she's still a very big favourite here with you guys and with the girls here. So we did put up that post, and what we're basically asking for was a name. We never actually named her. So we asked you guys, do you want to name her? And I let Elena here actually was going to be the judge of the whole thing, because she didn't get to name an animal in quite a while. So I was going to let her pick the actual winner. So I went through quite a few on Instagram and Facebook. I will just name a couple of the popular ones that stood out. First of all, mischief was said by Francis McGuire, Kieran J. Donnelly and Joanne Flood. Houdini, another one that was mentioned. And Houdini was an escape artist, so that was quite a good one. That caught our eye. Richard Matthews on that one, and Lawrence Curtis. Rosie was said, but we have a Rosie. She's the big white cow that we have, and Nicole named her, so she's there now. She's actually quite an old cow, but she has that name now taken, so that one's gone. Milkshake, we thought about that one, but you aren't a huge fan of it, so we moved on from that one. Trouble, yeah, she's definitely that, but no, we wanted a little bit different. Guinness, actually good laugh on that one. Peter Collins, good man, thinking outside the box. I actually like that one myself, but the girls didn't think much of it. Then we had Star. Now, we couldn't use that name because we had a dog that passed away when it was 15 years of age, Star. She passed away just before we started the YouTube channel. I did mention it in the first couple of videos, because she was Star, put it that way. And that name cannot be given to anything else because that's her name and it'll always remain her name. But yes, we like that. It was just coincidence that someone mentioned it. Maybe you did see that video where we talked about her. But the one that we picked in the end was by Siobhan Whelan. Moodini. Not Houdini. Moodini. That just stuck out to us straight away. I think Siobhan, you wrote it up a few times, alright. But we did see it, and the girls, as soon as we heard it, we said that's the name for her. So that's it. Moodini. Thanks very much for everybody who commented and give names. We appreciate them all. It was great reading through them. There's some names there now we can use next year on our other calves when they come along. So thanks very much everybody who took part and commented on that. We do appreciate it. Siobhan, well done. Moodini, we'll be naming that one after you. You got to pick that one. So that's it. Well done. Thanks very much for taking part, folks. So from myself and Elena, until the next video,
We'll talk to you again.
There we go.